too sure that even all the women will go out and vote for that woman.
Well, the truth is that in the past, well, the evidence is there. Women actually have not voted for women. But I think that if the women who decide to come out for 2019, I think if those women make it very clear that they have specific goals that would actually change or improve the lot of society generally and women specifically, if they have programs, they have ideas, they have goals that they're working towards, and they have sincerity of purpose, I think that this time around they're going to have a different result, especially if the women that come out are those who have already made it. I mean, those who are already economically secure, economically sound, so that it doesn't look as if there's something else that you're trying to become, you're trying to be elected to get or to achieve. If we can have more of professional women, more of successful business women coming out and saying, look, this is what I want to do, this is why I want to do it, this is who I want to do it for, I think we're going to get a better result.
Yes, talking about achieving better results, you've mentioned some points there, but what more can be done for women to do, as you know, for women generally to break the glass ceiling?
I think the glass ceiling has already been broken. Honestly, I don't think there is any ceiling. And I don't think that the sky is the limit anymore, because after all, we have so many female pilots. So the sky definitely is not the limit. I think women should be more motivated to make a difference to society. I'm not sure that it's really that important anymore to compete with men because you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a lawyer, a pilot. We've already got so many women that are already, you know, doing those things and doing very well in those areas. So honestly, I don't think there is a glass ceiling. I think women should set their goals, the personal goals, for themselves. I don't think that you need to beat anybody but yourself. I don't think I need to beat anybody but myself. There's no competition. It's a wide sky, and I've already said it's a limitless sky. So frankly, I think whatever a woman decides she wants to be, wherever she decides she wants to be, whatever she decides she wants to do, she can do it. She can be it. She can go there.
Yes, indeed. And with those words, Mrs. Bimbo Oloyede, thank you for coming on Network Africa.
You're welcome.
Well, still talking about the International Women's Day, as the world continues to celebrate, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, has called or is asking everyone to pledge to do everything possible to overcome entrenched prejudice, support engagement and activism, and promote gender equality as well as women empowerment. In his message, he solicits for the empowerment of women and girls, saying this is the only way to protect their rights and ensure they realize their full potential.
I've lived in my past capacity as High Commissioner for Refugees the suffering of women in the most tragic circumstances that one can imagine. And I've seen women of the great victims of poverty, of conflict and violations of human rights in different parts of the world. The protection of women in these circumstances is absolutely essential. But I believe that the only way to make that protection effective is to give full priority to the empowerment of women, to give full priority to the massive presence of women in government institutions, in political systems, in the business community, in the boards of companies, and in peace negotiations, in all aspects in which societies are today developing. I do believe that with a full presence of women in our societies, development will be stronger, peace will be more easy to maintain, human rights will also be better protected.
Away from the Women's Day celebration now, the South African government has formally withdrawn its notice to withdraw from the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. This follows a court ruling that declared the executive direct notice to the court without going through Parliament unconstitutional. Now, while the nation awaits more clarity on the next steps of the government regarding this from the Justice Minister, the International Commission of Jurists has recommended that South Africa should stay on as a member of the state of the ICC in the interest of justice. The eminent jurists were speaking at a presentation of their submission to the Parliament portfolio on justice and correctional services.
We say that South Africa should remain a party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. We say that South Africa should engage, where appropriate, with other African states in actively pursuing appropriate reforms within the Assembly of State Parties with a view to making the ICC more effective in advancing the objectives of international justice. We recommend also that South Africa should actively encourage other African states to put in place legislation required to empower domestic courts with the ability to try genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. South Africa should also continue to work constructively with civil society on the advancement of international criminal justice.
Meanwhile, robbers have made away with nearly $2 million in cash from the OR Tambo Airport in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's reported that armed thieves masquerading as policemen drove into a restricted zone in the airport, carting away containers of cash. Spokesman of the Priority Crimes Unit says a probe has been launched but won't confirm bits of information making the rounds that a police vehicle was used in the robbery. In 2006, a similar heist involving the current value of about $7.6 million was recorded. After a 6-year trial, it was found that the gang colluded with airport security operatives. Still ahead on Network Africa, the EU Border Management Agency sets up an African base in Niger to tackle migration crisis. Do stay with us.